Listen up. At around 2300, we received multiple 911 calls from the 4U gas station at 5th and Van Drake and Southside.
911, what's your emergency?
Hello, my name is Charlotte Layton. I'm at a gas station and need help right now.
911, what's your emergency?
Hello! I'm being robbed!
Okay, try to remain calm for me, sir. Where's the robbery taking place?
The Foil gas station on 5th and Van Drake, Southside.
Be advised, some or all may be under the influence of methamphetamine and incredibly erratic. This potentially showing their true motives to feed a lethal addiction, even with the stick-up being high risk. We can assume their move was calculated, with DeBanco stopping by before the robbery for regular pickup of cash stored on the premises. DeBanco's employees are known to be at risk during their shifts, with many criminal acts committed against them, such as assault and attempted robberies. Along with the front entrance into the store, there's a second method of entry into the diner side area on the northern side. If both locations aren't viable options, there are 2 alternate entry points on both sides of the building. One may require a key card used by employees. You should be able to find it in a Knox box on scene. Suspects may have broken away from the main building into the side garage on the eastern side. Exercise caution when moving around the exterior. It is unlikely the suspects are wearing armor. They are armed and have demonstrated their intent to cause harm. We do know at least one of the suspects is carrying a 9mm semi-automatic pistol, as described by a witness. Remember to only use lethal force on what you deem as an imminent threat to you or your element, as well as civilians present at the scene. Plan and coordinate your actions accordingly. And get to work.
All right, everyone, need your attention. Operators just received a 911 call from an individual within an apartment complex in San Uriel this morning.
911, what is your emergency?
My name is Michael Williams. I'm currently in apartment 14 in the San Uriel condominiums with my piece of shit brother. I'm calling you because I've killed my mother. I'm going to kill my brother. And then I'm going to kill myself. So don't come in.
Okay, sir, stay with me. I would like to...
Don't tell me what to do!
Detailing a brewing hostage situation. It seems that Michael Williams has barricaded himself in his apartment along with his brother DeMarcus. He also shot and killed his mother, Cassandra Williams. The call was brief, but gave us information regarding his potential mental state.
Has anyone tried to regain contact with Michael?
The call bounced when attempted, and calls from negotiators outside have fallen on deaf ears. It sounds like Michael may be firing a weapon inside his room, and we've received multiple reports of gunfire from other individuals within the complex. The building has a single entry through the main atrium. There's also a second entry point through a fire escape nearby, which should allow quick access to the other levels without exposure to your teams within the atrium. The watch commander is on scene and has patrol holding perimeter positions. Thames is staging at the command post. Currently, they're awaiting our arrival to make entry, as the situation has been deemed dangerous, given no communication can be established.
Do we know of any other threats within this space?
Michael's apartment is number 14, and so far we've managed to confirm that rooms 16, 11, and 12 are all currently inhabited but closed off. Those residents have either been evacuated or are sheltering in place. However, we were unable to make contact with apartments 13 and 15, both of which are under the ownership of Michael Williams at this time. It is unknown if he is still barricaded with his family in 14 or has moved into one of the other rooms to ambush. We are not aware of any other threats. It seems to just be one guy. All right, let's roll.
Gear up, boys. Our detectives just hit the jackpot following a new lead for methamphetamine production in 213 Park and need some door kickers for the job.
I was asked to do a drop at this house down in 213. I don't remember the address. I dropped off the product and took the cash. I was supposed to bring it back to the main house. That's where they run the logistics side of things. But I needed the cash. I pocketed it and stashed it in this place I found. I was planning on taking Reba and Archie and getting out of town. The fresh start. Get away from the locos and the Johns knocking on our door all day and night. She could be a mama and Fuck, I don't know. They came looking for me quicker than I thought. When the money didn't come in, Julio sent them to find me. I hid in this apartment. Everyone knows about it. All the users hide up there when they need a place to crash. It was empty. I guess they maybe cleared it out before I arrived. They came in and grabbed me. I didn't see who, but I can take a good guess. Julio uses the same few guys to do his heavy hitting. When I woke up, I was there, in the attic. That's where they do their work. I was tied to a table. Julio was there, but so was this other guy, Frank. That's all he goes by. Nobody ever sees him. But we all know what he does. He's a surgeon and a butcher in one. They wanted to know where the money was, but I couldn't tell them. I needed it. I had to get out of this city. It eats you alive. And now, with Archie, he deserves better than a junkie and a whore for parents. I don't want that for him. I was in the attic. It's where she used to live. Now it's where they take the people they need information from. I don't know what happened or why they left. Maybe I was dead. Maybe I was resurrected for a second chance. Fuck if I know. But I was alive and alone. The rest is a blur. I can't remember anything after I fell through the attic. I remember seeing her up there. But it couldn't have been. She'd been quiet for too long. Maybe I was seeing things. But the next thing I knew, I was in the hospital. Ain't never been happier to see the cops in all my life.
You're doing great, Reese. These houses, where are they? Are they connected?
I can't remember the address, but I could show you. Never been good with names. They're connected to the business. One is the lab and storefront, and the other is where Julio and his boys operate things. The lab is at the back. It's all done up, ready to be fumigated. You can't miss it. Hiding in plain sight, you know?
That's great. This is helpful, Reese. Can you think of anything else?
No. It hurts. I'm tired. Can I go to sleep now?
They booked this tweaking gangbanger for shooting up a 4U station the other day. The fool had a note in his pocket all about this meth lab in 213 Park. He was planning on spending his earnings from the robbery up there.
How do we know it's legit?
Good question. Well, as our luck would have it, a uniformed patrol just happened to drive near the house a few days ago and picked up what they presumed was a hit-and-run victim by the side of the road. It turned out he was a runner for the guys that run the neighborhood. He admitted everything while in the back of the ambulance. He was in a bad way and wanted to clear his conscience. He'd pocketed the cash from this big deal he'd overseen. He was planning on skipping town with this hooker or something like that. They tortured him in the attic of this house and left him for dead. Once the hospital got him stabilized, he sang like a bird. He told us everything he could about this place in exchange for immunity.
What sort of premises are we dealing with?
We're dealing with multiple. There are 2 properties, both empty. One went into foreclosure and somehow got lost in the bank's systems. Nobody's touched it since. The second is a house just to the north. The family was killed during a robbery on their way to the airport. The house was being fumigated, and it sat that way empty ever since. Nobody seems to want the thing, but they're just the top layer. Our boy Reese managed to explain that there's a secret garage built under the property. That's where the heaviest footfall is happening. That's where we need to be. We've got the house under surveillance, but Reese gave us the core opening hours. That's when we move. The orders are to arrest at least 2 suspects at the property for detectives to pursue this investigation. We nail them and get this lab shut down, and it's a big check in the win column. We won't be welcome in this part of town. I'm sure most of you here know how its residents feel about police presence, so this will be a big crackdown. Be advised that we have no information on suspects or civilians other than the possibility many will be under the influence of methamphetamine and be highly erratic and potentially violent on contact. Not to mention gang activity, meaning the presence of firearms on persons within the meth house, so I would advise you proceed with extreme caution. We don't want to cause a riot, and lethal force is only permissible as a defensive measure. Am I clear on that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I want us to split into 3 teams. First team, I want you to take the first property. Sweep it. Arrest anybody that gets in your way. I want that house cleared and the garage held. Nobody gets in and nobody gets out until we've processed them. This mission is just as much about making a statement to the 213 district as it is about anything else.
Sir, take a step back. Back it up.
Hey, man, I'm trying to tell you something.
Whatever you have to say, you can say further away from me. What's up?
I've been on this block for years, man. Don't talk to me like I'm some kind of fucking dope fiend. It's my shit. This is my shit. You best come correct.
Sir, calm down. What did you want to tell me?
This fat motherfucker, man. He has women of all kinds stepping into this joint all day. Kids too, mostly. If I had a phone, I'd have called you a long time ago. It ain't right.
Is that it? You came over here to tell me women and kids are entering a crummy talent agency?
That ain't it, Buster. There's more to it. Every Sunday, I seen these men show up, hauling all kinds of shit in there. No doubt, they be strapped. I seen them enter this morning. They still in there, and you dumb motherfuckers are out here making all this noise, getting whoever is in there real fucking antsy. I'm giving you a warning, man. If you're setting up to enter this place, you better have the whole fucking military with you.
Thanks for the warning, pal. I'll take it to the chief right away. Maybe you can get a medal or something. Maybe we can get a medal for you and all your buddies here.
You got a small mouth. See how it plays out for you, boy.
All right, everybody ready to roll. So, if you guys haven't been told yet, CID finally received the decrypted metadata from those marked MindJot drives that we seized a week or so ago. The data from the images on the drives corroborates information our guys have put together on a small operation running out of the row. We're heading over to 7408 Martinez Boulevard with a warrant for the arrest of George Brixley. Current intel, our target has a prior conviction for kidnapping. Did some time in Leavenworth, about 3 years. He also has a prior felony for conspiracy and sexual assault. He's not going to want to go back to jail. Brixley has firearms training, and we assume he's going to be armed. The structure we will be entering has some quirks to it. Jackson, the intel you gathered last night, what's up with this place?
He's running some sort of talent agency, round the clock, all week. Weekends are his busiest times, so minimum 1 female in the building. Likely more. Could be children, too.
Okay, so we could have kids in there. Moving on, the structure has 3 known entrances. One on the main road, side one, that goes through the reception. One on the 3rd side of the building, and one on the 4th side. We don't know much about the internal space. Floor plans we've got are from the former owners of the building, who had it set up as a clinic. Speaking of clinics, medical. We'll have RAs on scene, as well as pediatric ambulances in case there are any kids. Primary hospital is going to be YMH. Secondary, if we have multiple patients, is going to be Coastal Grove Medical Center. For radio, we're going to be operating on TAC 5 Central Tactical. Make sure your radios are set to TAC 5. Backup channel is going to be TAC 1. Okay, question time. Anyone?
What's our go for use of NFDDs?
Interior deployment is authorized based on assessed need. Bang a room if you have to. Anyone else? Perfect. All right, let's go. Remember to watch your mouth. Everything is being recorded. All the time.
15L32, priority.
15L32, go ahead.
I've got multiple officers down outside of the East McCade station. Suspect is at large, location unknown. Get me back at the medics here. Code 3, get me SWAT.
All units on the channel, 15L32 reporting multiple officers down at East McCade station, requesting backup code 3, unknown location of suspect.
All right, boys, listen up. We all heard about the shooting down at the McCade station. We got 3 officers fighting for their lives, and 3 have already lost theirs. But we have something else, too. We got the name and probable location of the son of a bitch who did this. We've also got the pleasure of being the ones who get to get him.
Oh, shit, it's good.
Settle down. What we know about the events earlier today is that Gerard Scott set up an ambush by lighting a car on fire near the McCade station. He lay in wait, and when the police arrived, he opened fire on them with a rifle. Scott then fled the scene in an RV. A member of the public who was nearby when the shooting started got the license plate, which we've traced to a compound up on Sullivan Slope. Scott's details are coming through your tablets. We don't know much about this guy. He used to work for the USIA in an office-based role. He has no family, no friends, and apparently no known acquaintances. He wasn't even known to us until today. We got nothing to work with, no motive, no history of law enforcement. All we know is that this guy likes to keep to himself. He's already shown he's not afraid to shoot at cops, so I doubt he's going to welcome us with open arms. Be careful up there. I do not want to be responsible for the chaplain showing up at anyone else's wife's door today. I understand that emotions are going to be high, but we do not know what we are walking into. I want us to be swift and sensible. He's shown that he has serious firepower, and we need to be ready for anything. Something triggered him, and that makes him a very dangerous individual. Now gear up and report back to your element leaders in the garage in 5 minutes.
All right, we've got a roll. This just came in. There have been multiple calls coming in of an incident over in Brisa Cove Memorial Park, an assassination attempt on Senator Cornelius Fremont.
911, this call is being recorded. What is your emergency?
We need the police. Someone just killed the senator.
I'm sorry, sir. Can you repeat that?
We need the police. I'm at Memorial Park. Someone just shot Senator Fremont.
Okay, sir, thank you.
This guy's supposed to be running for president in the next election, so I'm sure you can all appreciate how much we don't need this to turn to shit right now. The senator was holding a rally in the park when the shooting happened. Security was on site, but the shots came from further afield. Reports indicate it came from a building south of the park. Early details say there are several suspects holed up on the 12th floor. We don't have much to work with, but we do know that the senator has received a few threats in recent weeks from a veterans group who were unhappy with the decision to cut VA hospital funding, a bill the senator heavily supported. The senator is no longer on site, and uniforms have already cordoned off Memorial Park. I want us to hit that building and flush out whoever is up there. I know you can do jobs like this in your sleep, but I can't stress how badly we need this dealt with quickly and cleanly. We've already cleared the building to the 12th floor. Now it's up to us to go in there and search every apartment that has a view of the park, however marginal. I want guys on the roof and everywhere in between. Keep in contact, and for God's sake, communicate with one another as you go. I won't have anything falling through the cracks on this one. Any questions?
What's the status of the senator?
Last update was that he's alive, but barely. They got him good. Now, there's no time for sitting around. The building's plans are being uploaded as we speak. Familiarize yourselves with them before we head out. All right, time for questions. Anybody got anything burning they need clearing up? Great. Now gear up and report back to your element leaders in the garage in 5 minutes. Stay safe out there.
All right, listen up. We've got a warrant service on a mine job data center in Kalina Beach. It's inland, pretty dusty. It's also pretty dim outside. The facility is located on 52 East Temple Hill Street, and we've got multiple entrances for this one. Side 1 will lead us into the lobby, Side 2 contains an access doorway, and Side 4 has a loading bay entrance that leads into the data storage areas. An element on scene has determined that there's a possible entrance on the rooftop that leads down into a second level. Now, we're dealing with a lot of expensive hardware in the structure. As you all know, MineJot is on the downslope, so we don't expect much recourse if shit gets broken. But we want to be mindful of property damage. It will also limit the capabilities of our cyber crime teams if they have to work with a bunch of destroyed drives. Threats inside the facility are unknown. MineJot has a security layer that is well armed and on edge. We don't know if these guys have also been paid off by whoever is running the show here. I mean, times are tough, and all it takes is a little money to keep desperate people floating. I want to stress that this facility has had a number of robberies recently, some by individuals posing to be police, and a kidnapping that led to the death of one of the security staff not too long ago. If these guys aren't aware of what's going on at the facility, they could very well be on edge enough to send rounds your way out of fear. If you guys keep it slow, use your compromised authority to bang rooms and limit the security team's effectiveness, we shouldn't have a hard time gaining control of the situation. Because of the prior robbery where the suspects were disguised as police, we're going to have marked units visible, and we're going to start loud hailing as soon as we're in position. If they don't surrender, I take that as a sign that they might know something about what's on that hardware they're guarding. The data center is also running a skeleton crew, so it's likely we've got a couple of civilians within the compound. These guys all look very similar, so check your shots and be mindful of what is beyond your target. Any questions?
Is this tied to that streamer we detained last week?
It looks like it. We scrubbed metadata from the child pornography on his computer that pointed towards his place being the source. Something big is going on here, so we've got to make sure not to damage anything that might get us closer to nabbing whoever's in charge here. All right, time is tight. Gear up and let's roll out. Rally is on Truman Boulevard and Temple Hills. We'll gather there and get any fresh information from the other element on scene. Thames is also en route.
911, this call is being recorded. What's your emergency?
Oh, yeah. I don't have one, but I think you need to send someone to 128 Windy Coast Drive in Kauai.
Sir, if you don't have an emergency, I'm gonna have to ask you to hang up.
Fine, but make sure you pass this through. Someone is modifying and selling illegal weapons through that address. 128 Windy Coast Drive in Kauai. You should send someone to check it out.
Can I take your name, please, sir?
No, just send someone to that address. That'll teach him.
Sir?
Oh, fuck.
Okay, everyone, take a seat. Here's what we've got. We've got an interesting one on our hands. The faces you see on your tablets are the Tran brothers. They come from a normal family up in Kauai. I know it's not our usual hunt, but we've got an arrest warrant for all three. An ongoing operation watching a car dealership in North Hills, which is a front for a weapons modification ring. We've got two guys on the inside at the dealership, and they noted that a lot of really interesting equipment is coming into the shop and being collected by Tao Tran. These parts are not your run-of-the-mill car parts either. We're talking about everything you need to convert a semi-automatic into a machine gun. These Tran boys are in above their heads and swimming in dangerous waters. The intel we got from inside the dealership is linking back to some large and very dangerous names. These boys don't know what they've gotten themselves into.
What are we looking for in the house?
I'm getting to that. Their eldest, An, is a mechanical engineer. They are getting the weapons from somewhere. He's modifying them in the attic with parts he orders from his North Hills dealership. We don't have the confirmation, but I suspect they are selling them through it too. Things are a little complicated, though. The boys live at home still. Their parents are older and retired. The boy's mom, Hui Nguyen, is dying. She's got stage 4 lung cancer. She's the one who called us and gave us the information. Turns out they're struggling for money and can't afford her medical care. Her sons turned their hands to this as a means of getting enough cash to pay for her treatment and help get their dad out of debt.
Shit.
Yeah, and she's bedbound in the house. So when we get in there, we need to move quickly but carefully. I want a small team on the inside, with 2 teams waiting on sides 1 and 3 just in case things go south in a hurry. These boys are going to be armed, but I want to avoid a gunfight if we can do so. The parents will be home, and we have nothing tying them to the guns, but we need to clear that house. Mom included. We'll have an RA on the scene to assist. We need to get into that attic and secure as much as we can. We need the Trans to be taken in so we can learn more about what they're doing and who they're doing it for. Any questions? Any issues? Anything that's been missed? Great. Good luck out there. And stay safe.
Listen up. There's a situation unfolding. 2 detectives from Criminal Investigations Unit arrived this morning at the Los Sueños Postal Service on 7th Avenue in East Los Sueños. Their goal was to have a conversation with a customs inspector named Jack Adams. From what we could tell, they became engaged in a firefight on Side 1, the reception area.
911, this call is being recorded. What is your emergency?
I'm inside the Los Sueños Postal Service in East Los Sueños, and near the airport. There's someone shooting here.
Okay, sir. What happened?
I'm an employee here, packaged quality assurance. I was on the conveyor line when someone started firing a gun near the front of the building. Then this kid came running out of nowhere. He was fucking leaking. I ran over to him and saw he had a gun, so I took off.
Our information at this time is pretty spotty, and it seems like the shooter was a part of the Los Locos, who have been seen in the area previously. It's unsure at this time whether or not the gunfight was connected to what the detectives were investigating, or if it was a random coincidence, but we're certain that there's more than one shooter in the building. This has been corroborated by a phone call to 911 that we received around the same time as the gunfight occurred. Both detectives have left the scene. One is in critical condition, heading to Yano Memorial, so it's just going to be us going in there. Priority is to find the shooter and his buddies and collect Jack Adams, who is likely still within the structure. We've got to hustle, so I'll keep this quick. The postal facility is big. It has 3 sides for entry. We've got side 1 with the reception entrance and warehouse entrance to the east, side 2 with a loading bay access point, and side 3 with more loading bays. These ones are for bigger trucks, so you may want to be mindful for the height difference there is if any shooters poke their fucking heads out. They might be able to see right over your cover. Your best bet is going to be that main entrance. It leads right into the center of the building, and we can get good domination that way. There's an internal structure within the facility on a second level as well. We don't have any intel on the design of this. It looks like a temporary part of the building. I've also had word from our contact at FISA that they want Adams alive and well. As far as we know, he's not a threat, and I can tell you now that if one of you kills a Fed on my watch, you'll be bagging and tagging evidence down in the lockers for the rest of your time with the LSPD. All right, last part. Rally is on 7th and Leybourne, right near where the freeway begins. We've got additional units blocking off the overpass, and a sniper team is en route, but they're across the city and it's gonna take some time. Let's hustle.
Eyes and ears, guys. Here's what's going on. This is a large roundup of a potential heavy hitter and the men working for him. This isn't gonna be some fucking stroll in the park, boys. We've got an arrest warrant for Amos Vol and a search warrant as well for evidence of the production of pornographic material involving minors.
The adult film guy?
The very same. Our cybercrime team has traced numerous wires from an offshore account that were being sent right to Brixley Talent Time every Sunday for the last 6 years. The shell company that holds this account was established in Bucharest, Romania, which happens to be where Amos's wife is from. She slipped up, and we tied a transaction from the shell company to Amos's personal account. That's about as much as we needed to get the all clear.
Boss, what's the risk level here?
Well, these are definitely going to be the same guys that we saw when we went for Brixley. Lots of ex-military, probably ex-cop. They're well armed, and if the talks the dicks had with them are anything to go by, these guys are also well paid. Threat level's gonna be high.
What's the entry?
Single point of entry on the road that leads to his home, 1962 Irwin Drive. We're up in the hills of Los Clemente. That means a lot of rich people, a bunch of movie stars and directors. Keep an eye on what's past your target if you have to get in a gunfight, because those guys would love a chance to sue the department if they caught some property damage. I should mention, it gets even more complicated. We've got surveillance on the target location now. They're reporting it looks like there might be a birthday party starting for Vol's teenage daughter. I know. Ordinarily, we'd never choose to serve this warrant right now with that going on, but time is of the essence. Somehow the bank's also tipped off police in Romania, who, despite our requests to wait, are set to seize his assets there as soon as the business day starts there. Once that happens, Vol is going to be tipped off and any evidence at the house will be turned into a big pile of ashes.
Are we gonna run into the same problem as the last time where the DA was parked right out the front of the house?
No, this place has some tight security. They'll know we're in there the minute you guys step onto Irwin Drive. Won't be any vehicles blocking the way, fucking up our shit. All right, let's roll. We're gonna be running on our regular channels. Main is TAC 1, backup is TAC 4 Northern. Let's go.
All right, everybody, settle down and listen up. We've got active shooters in the Watt Community College campus. From what we know right now, they are contained inside the science wing, but we all know that could change. We've had numerous reports coming in.
911, this call is being recorded. What is your emergency?
Please call switchboard.
What is your emergency?
I need help.
Can you tell me what's wrong?
I'm hiding. There's blood. So much blood.
911, this call's being recorded. What is your emergency?
I've been shot.
Okay, can you tell me your location?
I'm at the Watt Community College. 3 guys just came into the science block and opened fire.
911, this call is being recorded. What's your emergency?
I need the police. You need to send the police right away.
And we know there are victims dead and alive. We don't have time to mess around on this one.
How many shooters are there?
We don't know exactly. The reports have been varied, but we do know there are at least 2, but probably more. 2 campus security officers are at the scene. We don't know where, but we've got their details, and one is former LSPD.
Do we have contact with them?
No. We got the info based on what one of the 911 callers provided, and we don't have time to waste. We need to lock down that wing and close ground on them ASAP. I want you all to be ready. We're working to see if we can find a possible location based on the calls we're getting and the rooms the callers are in, but we're moving fast. If we don't have it when we pull up, we're going in without it.
What are our entry points?
The science wing has 3 main entrances. I want to hit all 3 at once. We're not giving them a chance to get out once we arrive. We've got uniforms coming in too, locking down the campus and doing all the footwork. It should be obvious, but we're going in with lethal force, boys. These assholes are shooting kids. My kid went to this college, goddammit. Listen up, everybody. We've had a location confirmed of an active Coyote stash house in Huerto Mesa. We've been following some leads for a while. A source just confirmed that the Los Locos are using this particular network and planning a mass evacuation tonight. We're talking people, products, and cash. We've been given access to the video feeds from the Border Patrol drone and surveillance is underway. The chopper is fueled and ready for my signal. We have no time to lose here. The good news is we've got aerial imagery of the site. There's a long road that leads to a ranch the locals call Rancho de Los Sueños. Ironic, right? Who says these losers don't have a sense of humor? The den starts in the backyard, but we need to go through the house to get there. I doubt they've got any traps set up, but we need to move with as much caution as we do urgency. The bad news is that once we hit the tunnels, we're blind as bats. We've got no idea how deep they go, how many branches there are, or where they lead. I know we've dealt with coyotes before, and they rarely give us any trouble, but we're dealing with Los Locos, too. We need to be prepared for anything. We need to bring as many suspects back as we can. I want a small team to sweep the outbuildings and then set up shop in the ranch, just in case. With everything that we know is being moved through these tunnels, we know the Los Locos won't hesitate to shoot. They are moving a lot of things at once, so it's going to be busy down there. We need to bring as much and as many people back up as we can. The coyotes rarely give us trouble, and the immigrants are mostly just looking in the wrong place for a better life. Cuff them and move on. We have no idea how many people are down there, but intel says it's one of their main tunnels. I don't think I have to remind you that lethal force is only to be used in self-defense or to prevent a situation from escalating. We need to communicate on this one, because we're all going to be blind. Clear details and no chatter. I don't like sending you all underground. Get in, do your jobs, and get back out. Any questions? Good. Now get to work. All right, listen up. At approximately 3:30, we received reports of a potential situation at the Clemente Hotel. Reports are that the Fremont family is currently sheltering there. Yes, it's the same Fremonts as the politician involved in the shooting yesterday.
How reliable is the source?
Dispatch has the head of hotel security on the line. He was alerted to the situation by one of the Fremont kids. Michael Fremont, age 20, first drew their attention to the situation. He'd been outside returning to the hotel when he reported seeing an unknown number of armed suspects trying to enter the premises via the external fire escape. I don't need to point out to any of you how much the department doesn't need a prominent politician's family being murdered right now. We've got security to put a lockdown in place, and we have visuals in the hallways, but nothing in the penthouse suite itself. We're getting the blueprint sent through, but if they don't get here in time, we'll just have to go in blind. Time is of the essence here. We know there are 6 family members up there, along with several members of their private security detail. We need to get the family out, without any casualties. We're going in with lethal force. We can't afford any fuck-ups on this one. Am I clear?
How are we entering the building, sir?
Right. We're going in 2 ways. I want half of you to follow the suspect's entry route up the fire escape. Get up, get in, get out. The rest of you, I want you inside on the stairs. Clear out any civilians to the lobby. I want you at the penthouse ASAP to get the family members out.
9052, cat number.
All right, brace yourselves. We're 2 minutes out and have reports of shots being fired. Remember, this is the 14th floor. I want you all up there fast.
Okay, this is going to be quick and dirty. We've got a suspected terrorist incident unfolding down at the Neon Club. Calls are flooding in of an active shooting inside the club.
911, this call is being recorded. What is your emergency? Hello? This is 911. What is your emergency? 911, this call is being recorded. What is your emergency?
We need the cops over anything on there. There's a bunch of guys shooting up the place. Oh God, there's so much blood.
911, this call is being recorded. What's your emergency?
Hi, you need to send cops to the Neon nightclub.
Did you say Neon?
Yeah, the dance club. I don't know what's happening, but there's a bunch of guys with guns.
Did you say...
Calls have confirmed the gunmen shot through the crowds on their way in. A Watch 3 car from Midtown Division was driving past and confirmed the building looks to be secured down, with large vehicles blocking the exit points, while the entrance seems to be barricaded from the inside. Counterterrorism has confirmed the Hand has already claimed responsibility for the attack. We've also had it confirmed by the cyber team that several shooters are live streaming the attack. Feeds are being cut, but there are channels on the web that operate beyond regular control. We've got LSPD and paramedics en route, and all local hospitals have been placed on alert to receive victims. There's some big-name acts performing tonight, and we all know that Neon isn't adverse to stretching its capacity limit beyond regulation. Don't kid yourselves. This is going to be a bloodbath, so I want you all in there, shutting these assholes down.
What do we know about the situation inside?
Not much. We've got conflicting numbers, but we know at least 4 gunmen are armed with automatic weapons. Early studies of the live stream footage also have at least one wearing what looks to be an explosive vest. They won't hesitate to kill civilians, so we need to stop them before they can do more damage. We can't start saving people until these guys are neutralized. This isn't going to be pretty, so get with your elements and get ready to move.
911, this call's being recorded. What's your emergency?
Hi, yeah. You probably already know this, but there's a shootout happening outside Caesar's Cars in North Hills. I don't know what's happening, but cops are being shot. You need to get more people over here.
All right, gather up. We've got a rapidly evolving situation and we don't have time to lose. Detectives from the Auto Theft Task Force were conducting a routine warrant service at Caesar's Cars in North Hills. Something went wrong, and now we've got officers down and a shootout in progress. This dealership has been watched for some time, and the owners are likely using it as a launch pad for the packaging and sale of illegal weaponry. The original intel was that a big deal was going down tonight. With the cover blown, we need to get in and try and salvage as much evidence as we can. We've got no time to waste on this one. We've got 2 main entry and exit points on side 1 and side 3. I want a team on each. Things have already escalated, so we're going in hot. We need to get things under control so that the trailers can get the casualties out of there.
Do we have anybody on the inside?
None of the raid team made it inside. We don't know what happened, but the cover was blown before they gained access. However, 2 detectives are working undercover in the dealership. One we know is now deceased. The other is still alive, but it's only a matter of time if we don't get in there and take control. Okay, we're a few minutes out. Are there any questions?
No, sir.
That's what I like to hear. We're walking into a shitstorm, people. Keep those communication lines open. I want to know what's going on at all times. Now, get ready to move.
Okay, this is going to be quick and dirty. We've got an officer down and 1 more under fire at the Cherriessa family vineyards in Santa Vino.
911, this call is being recorded. What is your emergency?
This is Officer Mariana Garcia. I've come under heavy fire at the Cherriessa family vineyards.
911, this call is being recorded. What is your emergency?
We do not want this. Our hand has been forced by the action of a society that wants to keep us weak and subservient.
We've all heard the stories about that place, but something escalated. We don't know much about this place, so we'll be going in somewhat blind. Officer Garcia is stranded at the vineyard and taking heavy fire from all sides. Sergeant Perez is dead. LSPD is en route with all available units responding, but we need to get out there and shut it down. The Cherriessa vineyards have always kept to themselves, but this morning, the LSPD got reports of a group of women from that compound assaulting a male inside a gun store. They fled the scene in a white truck, and the plates traced back to Elaine Raskin. Now, Raskin is an interesting character. She's ex-USIA. She's got a discharge, but everything relating to her is sealed. If she's leading this thing, then we gotta be smart with how we go about everything. The Cherriessa Vineyard is a large complex with 3 primary buildings and also several small outbuildings that pose a threat. However, Officer Garcia is pinned down in the central courtyard. Our primary goal is to get her out of there and then set up a perimeter and try to make contact with Raskin. The layout of the vineyard is being uploaded to your devices right now. Study it as we get moving because there's no time to waste. There's been plenty of shit shows over the years with incidents like this, and I will not have this being another one. Any questions? Good. Now get your gear and get your ass in a seat. Move!
Calls have come in from the Coastal Grove Medical Center of an active shooting taking place.
911, this call is being recorded. What is your emergency?
Help us. Oh God, they're going to kill us.
911, this call is being recorded. What is your emergency?
Hi, I'm a patient at the Coastal Grove Medical Center. I don't know what's happening, but it sounds like there's a gunfight going on somewhere.
911, this call is being recorded. What is your emergency?
We need the police at the Coastal Grove Medical Center.
Now, what we know so far is that approximately 20 minutes ago, the first reports came in of a gunman forcing their way into the medical center. Now, initial reports, along with intel unearthed by the cyber crimes team, point to this being the Hand. As if we didn't have enough to worry about, we've also had reports that some of the gunmen are dressed as hospital staff. That means we need to detain everybody. I know, they are not going to be happy about it, but we can't take any chances. We need to get in, lock down the hospital, and restrain anybody in a hospital uniform or who is behaving suspiciously. We know there are multiple shooters, but we don't have an exact number. From the information we've gotten from 911 calls, these guys are shooting anybody they see. If this is the Hand, then it's probably in retaliation to us capturing Quadama. I've spoken with the anti-terrorism unit, but they haven't had any intel on who has taken over. The LSPD is now briefed on securing the perimeter and locking down all entry and exit points. I want 2 teams. One will take the main entrance, and the other will enter through the west rear side entrance by the staff locker room. You've all been sent plans to the hospital, and I want you to study them. This isn't going to be pretty, and we all know that. Any questions? Good. Get your gear, get your ass in a seat. Move!
All right. I know we're not used to such a crowd, but here's the deal. This case is something that we've all gotten our toes wet on for the last year or so. Thanks to conversations between Reed and some agents across FISA and other agency teams, we've managed to get enough intel to form a picture of what's going on.
I was told you wanted to speak with me. Yeah, I got something you're gonna love, but it's gonna cost you. Well, you don't make those decisions. I do.
Following information gathered at the Caesars car dealership in North Hills, we understand that there's a significant transnational deal going down tonight at Port Hoken, right here in the city. It seems that a group of local arms dealers have been stockpiling large quantities of modified weapons to be sent to cartels and smugglers in Mexico, fueling tensions along our border. This group is using a series of Russian container ships to haul cargo all across the western seaboard. We've located and traced cargo arriving in Vancouver and all the way down to Colombia. This is a big operation. We estimate over $1 million worth of product every few weeks in exchange here. It's been going on for quite some time. Most, if not all, of the cargo is coming out of this singular point of exchange at the port of Los Sueños. Now, we're not entirely sure where the cargo is being held. The port is a busy place. It's running day and night. There's a lot of fucking activity going on, and it's about 7,500 acres of space. However, we've managed to isolate it down to 3 terminals. Reservation Terminal A, or Warehouse 1 area, Terminal D, and Terminal J. LSPD will take Terminal A, HRT will focus on Terminal D, and ATF is on Terminal J. THU will be on standby for aerial support, but we want to keep this quiet until shit goes down, so expect a 10 to 20 minute delay, best case if the weather holds. We're looking at the worst time to launch this, folks. Antonio is making landfall tonight. It's gonna get bad. Now, rather than slow things down anymore, each of your individual leads has the exact details of what we're doing. They'll brief you all individually as you head out. I don't think there's a need for me to stress how important this mission is. Gear up! Report back to your element leaders in the garage in 5 minutes.